there everybody, it is Tegan here again today, and for this video I am going to be doing a review on the book Never Always Sometimes by Adi Alsaid. This was a really good book and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to start this off with a non-spoilery part and then I'm going to be going into more of a spoilery discussion because there are some things I wanted to chat about. And so yeah, I will let you guys know when to leave if you haven't read the book yet. And I would like to address that if you can hear any screaming in the background of this video, it is because my neighbors are having a party and there's a lot of screaming involved. Apparently they are screaming a lot, and so that would be why there's a lot of screaming. And also, if my hair looks any different, it's because I just took a shower and it's still semi-wet, so yeah. Also, while I'm addressing things, do you guys like my sweater? Do you like it? Because I love it. It is great. Because Michael Clifford is my favorite person ever. So yeah, but I am going to get into this video now. So this book was amazing. It did take me a while to read, and there are reasons for it. One of them is that I started it at the beginning of last month. I only just finished it, and one of the reasons for that is because I did go through quite a bit of a reading slump over the last couple of months, and I will explain that more during my wrap-up. During my March and April wrap-up, I'll explain that more. I'll explain the reading slump more, but that is semi the reason. And then another reason is that I went to America for 2 weeks, and so I didn't bring any physical books with me. I just brought my Nook because it was easier to carry around and stuff, and so I didn't have this book with me, and so I didn't end up finishing it then. And then I got back and I was still sort of in my reading slump, and I had to so I only just finished this book, but I really did enjoy it. So basically, the premise of this book is there are two people, Dave and Julia, and Dave and Julia are best friends. They are going into high school. So the book starts off when they are just about to go into high school, and they decide to create this list that they call the Nevers. And basically what this list is it is a list of things that they will never do. So cliches that they believe that they will never do. So I'm just going to read to you what this list of nevers is. 1. Never be recognized by your lunch spot. Keep moving. 2. Never run for prom king/queen or student body president or any other position that would have its own page in the yearbook. 3. Never attend a party at the Kapoor brothers' house or any party where the invite is just the word beer. 4. Definitely never host a beer party while parents is/are out of town. 5. Never dye your hair color found in a rainbow. 6. Never streak, skinny dip, or do anything else that could result in a viral nude pic. 7. Never hook up with a teacher. Substitute teachers are acceptable. 8. Never pine silently after someone for the entirety of high school. 9. Never go on an epic, life-changing road trip. And 10. Never date your best friend. So basically, they make this list, and then 4 years later, they are in their senior year of high school. And they're like, we have missed out on so much stuff throughout high school. Like, all of these cliches, we've missed out on having them and doing them. And so they decide in the last few weeks of high school to go out and do all of these nevers. I love that premise. That premise got me so just intrigued in reading this book. So basically that's what this book is about them going out and completing these nevers. However, one of the nevers on this list is to never date your best friend, and another one is to never pine after someone for the entirety of high school. And Dave has already broken those two rules because he has been pining after Julia for those 4 years of high school. I loved this book. I loved the characters. I loved the writing. I loved how humorous it was, and both very sarcastic people. Dave and Julia are both very, very sarcastic people, and I definitely related to that because I myself am a very sarcastic person, and so I definitely related to that aspect of this book. Julia is more of an outgoing person than Dave is. Julia is somebody that will go out and do whatever she wants to do, and Dave, although he is very outgoing, he's not as outgoing. He's not as rambunctious, I guess, as spontaneous as Julia is, and I really like the diversity between the two characters, and I just really enjoyed how much they cared for each other, because there really was, neither of them really had any other friends. It was basically just the two of them for most of their high school lives, and I really enjoyed that. I found their connection really special. Adi Alsaid's writing is amazing. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. He is one of those authors that I aspire to write like, because I'm an aspiring author. I want to write books. I want to have books published out there in the world. And books like this, where the writing is just so good, it makes me want to write like that, and it just makes me look up to that person. I look up to so many authors: J.K. Rowling, Veronica Roth, Stephanie Perkins, Cassandra Clare, just a lot of authors, and Adi Alsaid is definitely one of them now because his writing is beautiful. He also came up with a really good concept for a book. I literally, as soon as I heard people talking about this on BookTube, because it got fairly big on BookTube. I saw a lot of booktubers talking about this book, and as soon as it got started talking about on BookTube, and as soon as I heard the general summary of this book, I was hooked. I related to these characters a lot as well, because obviously we're in the same age group. Like, a lot of YA books I'm in the same age group as, because I am in 11th grade, I am 16 turning 17, and that's the age of most of these people. And so, yeah. But, I don't know, I related to Julia a lot. I just love this book, and honestly, if you haven't picked this one up yet, go and pick it up and read it, because it is amazing. And that is it for the non-spoilery section of this video. Yeah. If you don't want to be told what happens in the book, if you don't want to be spoiled for what happens, if you just want to have your own experience with this, then leave now, because I don't want to spoil you guys. I personally hate spoilers. I mean, you can stay if you want to, but I don't know why you'd want to if you haven't read the book. So go and pick up the book, read it, and then come back and we can discuss it together. So, yeah, bye! Alright, so all of the people left here should be people that have read this book and just want to discuss it with me. I am going to be discussing this book in a lot more detail now. One of the things that I really enjoyed about this book was the fact that Julia was always pining after Maroni. I loved that, because obviously he didn't want her, and he was a teacher, and she's like, no, I'm gonna go get you. So she did all these things. She showed up at his house, she cornered him in a bathroom, she did slam poetry at a poetry reading, she did all this stuff, and I really enjoyed that. And I did enjoy how the Maroni-Julia thing ended, with Julia going into the treehouse and talking to Maroni heart to heart. Just, I really enjoyed that, because I felt like that was a good ending to their relationship. One thing that sort of was off about this book was it was slightly predictable, and I guess that a lot of contemporary books are predictable, but I just found this one to be predictable. Like, I did predict that Julia and Dave would cheat on Gretchen. I did predict that Brett would try going after Julia. I predicted that as well. There were just a few things that I predicted about this book, but I guess it's always the same with contemporary books, where it's always sort of predictable, so it wasn't that bad. Honestly, this was one of the first books that I've read where I actually didn't want the main couple to get together. I was happy with Gretchen and Dave being together, and although Julia wasn't happy with that happening, I liked Gretchen and Dave. I wasn't a big fan of Julia and Dave together as a couple. I liked them more as friends. So, yeah, like, when they went on the road trip and Julia kissed Dave and Dave kissed Julia and Julia told Dave that she loved him and stuff, I literally screamed at my book, no, you're dating Gretchen, no, don't do this, just no. And although Gretchen and Dave did end up getting back together in the end, I liked Julia and Dave as friends, and their friendship did get ruined by it, which did suck, because they were such good friends, and although they are still good friends at the end of the book, I feel as though they should not have dated at all. There was one part, however, when Dave and Julia were on the beach, and they had just been making out, and stuff was about to happen, and they said something to each other, and since this book is told in two points of views, which I actually really enjoyed with this book, but I'll talk about that more in a second. Yeah, there was this one part, and I'll read it to you because I thought it was really, really cute. Although I didn't like their romantic relationship, I found this part really adorable. So in Dave's point of view, Dave thought to himself as Julia's hands ran down his back as he kissed her over and over again. This was perfect. And then there's just a short little paragraph here from Julia's point of view that says, this, Julia thought to herself as Dave ran his hands down her sides as she kissed him over and over again. This was perfect. I love that so much. I found that adorable and cute and amazing. So back to the dual points of views, as I was saying earlier. I love the dual points of views in this book. A lot of times I don't. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about dual points of views. I feel as though they can work really, really, really well in some cases, and then in other cases they don't work really well. Case in point, Allegiant, and then here it worked really well. But yeah, I really like the dual points of views in this, especially because their personalities were so different that, yeah, I really enjoyed how it was dual points of views. And I really enjoyed the way that this book ended. It ended with Dave and Julia and Gretchen at the prom. And Dave has gone over to Julia and he's asked her to dance. And the very last paragraph of this book, I'll read it to you because I'm not going to do justice explaining it to you. I'll read it to you. This is the last thing that I really, really, really enjoyed. And it says, you know, I was thinking of a new list, Julia said. The always. A list of cliches to do throughout college. Frat parties, editorials in the school newspaper about the evils of the administration. Paying some creepy dude $50 for a fake ID. There's a whole new world to be explored. Dave laughed and bumped her with his shoulder. You have a pen and paper? And that's how the book ends. And I really like, I just really like that ending. I really enjoyed that ending. It was so good because they became friends again. Even though Dave and Gretchen, who I ship Dave and Gretchen a lot, I think, yeah. I loved Gretchen, I loved Dave. I ship them. Yeah, I ship them. But I found, their friendship, Dave and Julia's friendship got reconnected. And yeah. It was awesome. And I love the way it ended. I just love this book. I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5 stars. That's a pretty high rating for me. So yeah, I'd give this book 4 out of 5 stars because I loved it and it was amazing. Adi Alsaid, you are amazing author. Amazing author. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a big thumbs up and I would really appreciate that. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of this book. Because if you're here, you should have read it, or else I just spoiled you for a lot of stuff that happened in the book. But let me know what you guys thought of the book. Let me know if you have any of the same opinions as I do or any different ones, because I love to discuss, and I would love to discuss it with you down in the comment section. And you can subscribe to my channel if you want to be told when I make a new video. I make videos a few times a week on books and music and fandom-y stuff, so if any of that sounds interesting to you, then you can subscribe. And yeah, that's about it for this video. I'm Tegan, this is Bookwormia, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Hello there everybody, it is Tegan here again today, and I am in a different place because I'm at Haley's house, because she's on my channel again. And we are going to be reacting to the new